Hello, welcome to Revenant Reads. I'm Vin, and for today's Book Trek 2022 video, we were looking at Star Trek The Next Generation Mirror Universe Collection, a graphic novel collection. So I wanted to change things up a little bit for Book Trek 2022 this year. Last year in Book Trek, we looked at fiction in the iterations of Star Trek that extended from Star Trek, TOS, the original series, all the way up through Enterprise. So you can kind of consider like a Roddenberry Trek. Nothing from modern day Trek, the more Kurtzman Trek. And also none of the real kind of spin-off things that didn't have an on-screen basis. Now, this Book Trek this year is different. In August, we are looking at the stuff that we looked at last year, those iterations. That's Wrath of Book Trek. And then September, next month, we are going to be looking at that kind of Trek that we didn't hit last year, either spin-off fiction or the Kurtzman stuff, and also some of the Abrams stuff. The things that are not really entirely in line with Roddenberry. And some of it's pretty good, some of it is not, I think. A lot of people would agree. But anyhow, for August, I am mostly going to be looking at The Next Generation and TOS, the original series. I started off the month, as far as Star Trek fiction goes, with a graphic novel collection, one that I'd heard pretty good things about. So this is all about the Next Generation crew inside the Mirror Universe. This is written by Scott Tipton and David Tipton, with various artists, and some of the artists are very good. All the artwork is actually pretty good. It does vary quite a bit, though. Some of it looking a little more realistic than others. But it's all very good, very true to the characters, to the Star Trek world. Nothing really seems out of place at all. Now, Star Trek The Next Generation ran for 7 seasons. They also had 4 movies. They never had an episode within the Mirror Universe. The Mirror Universe was introduced in the original series due to a transporter mishap. Kirk gets sent, and not just Kirk, also Uhura. I'm trying to remember if there were others that went with them. It's been a while since I've seen the episode. But they essentially go into a parallel universe where instead of the Federation, you have a Terran Empire, which is tyrannical, it's xenophobic, and it is in many ways a counter to the kind of altruistic goodness of the Federation. And Kirk has to figure out a way to come back. Now, The Next Generation never explored this. Other series did. DS9, Deep Space Nine, they had some Mirror Universe episodes. They were a little more on the comical side. I think Enterprise, I believe, might have. Discovery did go pretty hard into it, I believe in the first season, with some middling effect. I didn't love everything about that first season, but I thought some of the Mirror Universe stuff was at least some of the more interesting things. So I was interested to see what these writers were going to do with The Next Generation in the Mirror Universe. And I gotta say, they did a really good job. I like this collection quite a bit. The first third or so really deals with the alternate universe, Mirror Universe, Enterprise crew. It deals exclusively within the Mirror Universe, and that artwork is actually really good. Here we can see some of it there. It looks like Picard inside an agonizer. You know Picard's bad because he's got a goatee. And what we see in this is the Enterprise crew get together within the Mirror Universe, how they all come together. Picard is still, he's still very crafty. He exudes authority, but he is not entirely cold-bloodedly ruthless. This is not a universe that has really much altruism at all. It's very opportunistic. In order to get ahead, people regularly have to assassinate the higher ranks in order to advance. Treachery is very commonplace. And our crew that we see, Picard included, does fit pretty well inside that universe. However, they still manage, the writers I mean, to make us root for them. They're kind of like the lesser evils inside an evil universe. Data has a very interesting journey. He basically goes from being a slave in the mines to being kind of liberated by Picard and then very loyal to him. But he does not have the need at all to protect humanity. So he sometimes he can be a very murderous assassin when he needs to be. Riker's done very well. Troy's actually very good. She's more like you would consider almost like a court sorceress or witch, using her powers to manipulate people, her betazoid empathic powers. And they do a very good job of actually getting them to assemble the crew, how they get the Enterprise, how they get going, how they manage to basically become the flagship, and Picard gaining control of it. And that stuff I thought was actually really excellent. The second and third part, I guess the last 2/3 of it, we then go back into the Prime universe, the universe of our crew, of Picard, and so on. And these mirror universe characters become more like intrusions into that. So the rest of the book is really like we get a number of, it's like solid TNG episodes, with a background plot of Mirror Universe. Because one of the Mirror Universe characters who ends up staying and taking the place of a Prime Universe character is Barclay, who in the TNG Prime Universe is somebody who lacks confidence. He's very socially awkward. And the Barclay of the Mirror Universe is overly confident, but also quite competent. And the kind of sad part is that a lot of the TNG people, they don't realize that Barclay has been replaced, and they actually, in some ways, like the Mirror Universe Barclay better. So it's a little bit of a ambiguity going on there that I actually kind of appreciated. But like I said, the whole second half of this, a little bit more than that, is like really solid episodes of TNG with the Mirror Universe people kind of appearing here and there. I think the strongest part is when we're just inside the Mirror Universe. But overall, I would recommend this. If you like graphic novels and you like Star Trek, I thought this was really solid. I really enjoyed it. I kept wanting to pick it up. Read it in a very quick amount of time, right at the very beginning of the month. And yeah, I'm very happy to add this to my collection. I do believe that these writers, or at least one of them, Tipton, did write another collection of Star Trek that involved Q, which I think I'm probably going to pick up. Now, those who watch my channel know that my library is packed up for a move that I'm going to be doing. That's why there's empty shelves pretty much behind me. You can't see, but right off screen here is just a big pile of boxes. One of the reasons I'm making these videos is that I can actually pack these books up. But I don't think I'll be able to get that Q collection this month, but maybe for Book Trek in September, even though it doesn't strictly fall in the lines because it is basically TNG, and I think it also has to do with Voyager and a lot of the other Roddenberry Trek. I might slip it into September anyway. But anyhow, if you've read this, I'd love to hear your thoughts, and I hope you're joining us on Book Trek. And as always, thank you, BookTube.